You're watching Capital City Sunday.
Just as things are heating up on the campaign trail, Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Waukaha County Judge Brad Schimel joined me for a one-on-one to discuss the stakes of the race. Judge Schimel, you have received endorsements from all 7 of Wisconsin's Republican members of Congress. In a post on X, Elon Musk made reference to a need to preserve voter integrity and to vote Republican in this year's Wisconsin Supreme Court election. What does that say about your campaign and the stakes of this race?
Well, I am running. I got in this race, frankly, to restore objectivity to the court. You know, I got very concerned when I watched in 2023 how there were open promises made about how to rule on cases. That's wrong. I mean, that's as if you go to a Brewer game and you buy your first $17 beer and you're ready to watch the game, but now the umpire comes out wearing a Cardinals jersey. You're not gonna hang around and buy another expensive beer because you know how this is gonna end. And there might be a Cardinals fan there that says, well, this is good, tonight my team's gonna win. But they're not gonna love that for long because at that point, baseball's done. You're gonna have to find another sport. If you've got anybody on the court wearing a jersey for one side, so to speak, this is a lot bigger than just losing a sport. This means now that we can't rely on our justice system for a fair result based on the facts of the case and the law. Instead, it's going to be based on the personal opinions of the judge hearing the case. That's why I got in this race, and I'm pleased that those who are supporting me are talking about this in terms of restoring objectivity, restoring integrity, and restoring integrity to our elections specifically. I think those are all important things.
Judge Schimel, you were asked about President Donald Trump's January 6th pardons. You stated that anyone convicted of assaulting law enforcement officers should serve their entire sentence, but you did not object to the president's pardons. What do you have to say to those who argue that stance is contradictory?
Well, what I don't object, I was kind of misquoted on that, because what I don't object to is the notion that presidents have pardon power. That's in the Constitution. They clearly can do that. So it doesn't have anything to do with my race. The president hasn't violated any authority, and neither did President Biden in the decisions he made, even though some of those pardon decisions I make I would personally disagree with, but those don't have anything to do with my race or anything I would do as a justice on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Now, I do feel strongly that if anyone had committed acts of violence that day, and particularly had assaulted or attacked a police officer, I don't think on a personal level they should have been pardoned, but the president does have that authority. So when I say it, when it's said that I don't object to him using it, I mean it in the sense from a constitutional perspective that I don't object to him utilizing a power he has under the Constitution.
Your challenger, Dane County Judge Susan Crawford, has argued that you serving in the partisan position as former Republican Attorney General of the state will affect your ability to be impartial on the court. How are you responding?
Well, she's forgetting her own partisan history. She was chief legal counsel for Governor Jim Doyle, a very liberal Democrat. That's as partisan as it gets. Every person who runs for court, whether it's the circuit court level or the Supreme Court level, every one of us has political baggage. We all come into this with a history, just like any juror that serves in a trial. The question is not whether you have that baggage, but whether you can objectively set that aside and hear the case impartially without regard to your personal opinions about the law, with your personal opinions about any other position or hot topic item that's out there. That's what's required of judges. That was over 6 years ago that I was Attorney General. And frankly, as Attorney General, I enforced the law. I didn't make the law as AG. When I was District Attorney in Waukaha, I didn't make the law there either.
And I want to stay on that conversation about impartiality on the court. Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Brian Hagedorn has recused himself in a case challenging the state's Act 10 law. Republicans have called on Justice Janet Protasewicz to recuse herself from several cases for her comments she made during the campaign. Considering your previous record on abortion, if a case was to come before the court, would you recuse yourself?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, well, any case where a judge or justice has a personal stake or their family has a personal stake, either in winning or losing in this litigation, they must recuse. Otherwise, it's a question of searching your conscience to determine, can you be fair and objective in the case? I have 2 adopted daughters. One was born right here at St. Mary's Hospital in Madison, and the 2 young women who gave my wife and I the chance to have a family we can't have biologically, they're heroes to us. And they were 18 years old, living at home, still in school. And it was a really courageous sacrifice they made for us. I treasure life because of those decisions. But the United States Supreme Court recognized that this decision belongs in the hands of the voters. No judge or justice anywhere should be making this decision for the voters of Wisconsin. And that's where I will stand on this. I have the humility to recognize that my powers as a judge or a justice are limited in that way by the will of the people I serve.
Looking back to the campaign, Crawford has released an attack ad claiming 6,000 rape kits sat untested at one point in time during your time as state attorney general. You have a separate ad that confirms being able to clear 4,000 kits by 2018. Why the delay in getting to those 4,000 untested kits when your office had the funding to start the testing in 2016?
Nobody else before me would take it on as attorney general or governor. Nobody wanted to deal with this problem. I came in and I knew there was value. From my 25 years as a frontline prosecutor, I knew there was value in getting these kits tested to bring justice for survivors and to hold offenders accountable and take dangerous offenders off the street. So we set out to do it. They've been disempowered by having to go through that examination. We certainly can't disempower them again by doing whatever we want without their consent. We will never have these being accumulated in storerooms. We'll get them tested and taken care of to bring justice right away. So I'm proud of this work we did. Yes, it takes time, and together we worked this miracle, and I'm proud of this work.
Waukesha County Judge Brad Schimel, candidate for Wisconsin State Supreme Court race. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.